It was October 30th, Voicing. The small town of Ashridge, hidden deep in the forests of entered United States. Oregon happened. Only 3,000 people lived there. Everyone knew everyone. And every night, by 10 p.m., the streets were empty. But that night, something changed. At exactly 11:43 p.m., 17-year-old Daniel Carter was lying in bed, unable to sleep. Rain tapped against his window, and the wind howled through the trees outside. Then the power went out. Everything went black. Daniel sat up. That was strange. Storms were common, but the power lines in Ashridge almost never failed. Then he heard it, a low humming sound, deep, mechanical, like something massive moving through the sky. He rushed to his window. At first, he saw nothing, just darkness. Then, three lights appeared above the forest, perfectly still, red, white, blue, not blinking, not moving, just floating. Daniel grabbed his camcorder. His hands were shaking. As he zoomed in, the lights slowly began forming a triangle, and in the center, there was darkness. A shape so black it looked like it was swallowing the stars around it. It was huge, at least the size of a football field. Suddenly, the humming stopped. Complete silence. Then the object moved. Not like an airplane, not like a helicopter. It shot across the sky in 1 second. Gone. Daniel froze. What the hell was that? Then his phone rang at midnight. He answered. It was his best friend, Tyler. Daniel, did you see it? Daniel could hear panic in his voice. Yeah, Tyler whispered. It landed. Daniel's heart stopped. Where? Tyler answered. Blackwood Forest. That forest was 5 miles outside town. Nobody went there at night. Locals said strange things happened there. Missing hikers, animal carcasses, lights between the trees. Daniel grabbed his jacket, his camcorder, a flashlight, and got on his bike. 20 minutes later, he met Tyler near the forest entrance. Tyler looked pale. You sure about this? Daniel asked. Tyler pointed ahead. Through the trees, there was light, blue light, pulsing, like a heartbeat. And then they heard screaming. Not human, not animal, something else, something impossible. Tyler looked at Daniel, Daniel looked back, and together they walked into the forest, not knowing that this decision would change their lives forever. The deeper Daniel and Tyler walked into Blackwood Forest, the stranger everything became. The air felt heavy, too heavy, like the forest itself was holding its breath. No insects, no birds, no wind, only that blue light ahead, growing brighter with every step. Tyler tightened his grip on the flashlight. This feels wrong, he whispered. Daniel kept recording with his camcorder. The screen kept glitching, static flashed across it every few seconds. Then they found the first sign, a deer, lying in the dirt, dead, its body untouched but completely drained of blood. Tyler stepped back. What did this? Daniel didn't answer. He noticed something nearby, marks in the ground, 3 long lines burned into the soil, stretching forward, like something huge had dragged itself through the trees, and the blue light was at the end of that trail. They followed it, step by step, until they reached the clearing, and froze. In front of them was a craft, massive, circular, half buried in the earth. Steam rose from its black metal surface. Blue energy pulsed around it like electricity. The trees around it were bent outward, snapped like toothpicks. Daniel whispered, "Oh my God." Then Tyler pointed, "There." Near the ship, something was moving. A figure, tall, thin, at least 7 feet high. Its skin looked gray under the blue light. Its arms were too long, its head too large, its eyes completely black. Daniel zoomed in. The creature stopped, it turned, and looked directly at him. Even from 50 yards away, Daniel felt it, like something entered his mind. A voice, cold, ancient. "We see you." Daniel dropped the camcorder. Tyler screamed. The creature began walking toward them, slow, unnatural. Its legs barely moved, yet it covered ground too fast. "Run!" Daniel shouted. They turned and sprinted into the forest. Branches cut their faces. Mud slowed them down. Behind them, they heard nothing. No footsteps, but they knew it was there, watching, following. Then Tyler tripped, hard. Daniel stopped. Tyler looked up, terrified. Daniel. Standing behind him was another one, closer, silent. Its hand reached down toward Tyler's face. Then bang! A gunshot. The creature jerked back. A man stepped out of the trees holding a rifle, old, bearded, covered in mud. "Move!" he yelled. Daniel grabbed Tyler. The three of them ran farther into the woods until the blue light disappeared. The old man finally stopped, breathing hard. He looked at them and said the words Daniel would never forget. "You boys shouldn't have come here." Daniel asked, "What are those things?" The old man stared into the darkness and answered, "They're back." The three of them stayed hidden in an old hunting shack deep inside Blackwood Forest. The old man still hadn't given his name, only that he had been watching the forest for years. Tyler was shaking uncontrollably. Daniel was still holding his camcorder, though it was now completely dead. No power, no recording, just a black screen. Outside, the forest was silent again. Too silent. The man finally spoke. "You saw one of them." Daniel nodded slowly. The man leaned forward. "That means they've fully returned." Tyler snapped. "Returned from where? What are they?" The man looked at him for a long moment, then answered, "Not from where, from when." A pause. Daniel frowned. "What does that mean?" The man stood up and walked to the shack window, peeking through a crack in the wood. "They were here long before us, before cities, before names, before anything we call history." He turned back. "And then they left." Tyler whispered, "Why?" The man shook his head. "No one knows." Suddenly, a sound outside, a low hum, the same sound Daniel heard in his bedroom. It was back, closer. The shack's wooden walls began to vibrate slightly. Dust fell from the ceiling. The man grabbed his rifle immediately. "Don't move," he whispered. Daniel's heart was pounding so hard he thought it would explode. Then a flash of blue light passed outside the window, slow, like something enormous was circling them. Tyler covered his mouth to stop himself from breathing too loudly. The humming stopped, silence again. Then the door of the shack creaked. Just a little. Daniel froze. The old man aimed his rifle at the door and whispered, "If they open it, don't look directly at them." Tyler whispered back, "Why?" The man didn't answer. Because the door started opening wider, slowly, no hands, no force, just opening by itself. And then a shadow appeared in the doorway. Tall, thin, black eyes staring into the dark cabin, and inside Daniel's mind, the voice returned. "You brought others." The old man fired. Bang, bang, bang. The creature didn't fall. It only tilted its head, as if confused. The bullets didn't stop it. The creature stood inside the shack like the space belonged to it. The air felt colder instantly. Daniel couldn't move. Tyler was frozen near the wall, eyes wide in panic. The old man kept firing until the rifle clicked empty. Silence. The gunshot echoes faded into the forest. Then the creature slowly turned its head toward the old man. No aggression, no rush, just observation, like it was studying him. The old man whispered, "They don't react like animals." The creature took one step forward, then another. The wooden floor creaked under its weight, but it still moved too smoothly, like gravity didn't fully apply to it. Daniel felt something again, that pressure in his mind, the same voice, but now clearer, stronger. "You should not resist." Tyler suddenly grabbed his head. "Stop! Stop! I hear it too!" The old man shouted, "Don't listen." But it was too late. Tyler's eyes rolled slightly, like he was losing focus. The creature stopped right in front of him and raised its hand. Slowly. Daniel yelled, "Tyler, move!" But Tyler didn't react. The hand stopped just inches from Tyler's forehead. Then everything went white, a flash, a memory that wasn't his. Daniel saw it too. Cities burning under unknown skies, massive ships above oceans, humanity running, hiding, then silence. Earth empty. And finally, the creature standing alone on a dead planet. The vision ended instantly. Daniel collapsed to his knees, gasping. The creature lowered its hand. Tyler blinked rapidly, as if waking up from a dream. The old man looked terrified now. "They showed you the end," he whispered. Outside, the humming returned, but louder, much closer. The shack began to shake, wood cracked, dust fell. The creature turned its head toward the forest again, as if responding to something outside. Then it stepped back, slowly, like it was leaving. The door opened wider on its own, and the creature walked out into the darkness. Gone. The silence that followed felt worse than the presence. Tyler whispered, "Why did it leave?" The old man didn't answer immediately. Then he said, "Because it wasn't alone." From the forest, dozens of faint blue lights began to appear between the trees, surrounding them, closing in. Then the forest looked like it was full of floating eyes. No shapes yet, just light. Moving slowly between the trees, the shack felt smaller every second, like the forest was closing in on it. Tyler backed away from the door. "Tell me those are not more of them." The old man stayed still, watching carefully. "No," he said quietly. "This is the patrol." Daniel frowned. "Patrol?" The old man nodded once. "They don't hunt randomly. They map. They scan. They surround." A pause. Then he added, "And when they surround something, it means the main one is coming." A deep sound rolled through the forest. Not a hum this time. More like a pulse. The ground vibrated slightly. The blue lights stopped moving at once, complete synchronization, as if every single one was controlled by the same mind. Then, they all turned toward the shack. Tyler whispered, "They see us." The old man raised his rifle again, but his hands were shaking now. Daniel looked outside through a crack in the wood, and that's when he saw it. Between the trees, something massive was rising. Not flying, not walking, just appearing higher than the forest itself. A shape so large it blocked part of the sky. Its surface wasn't metal like the smaller craft. It looked alive, like shifting darkness wrapped around geometry that shouldn't exist. The air pressure changed. Daniel's ears rang. The old man whispered, "That's the command vessel." Tyler asked, "What does it want?" The old man didn't hesitate this time. "It doesn't want anything." A pause. "It's already decided." Suddenly, every blue light outside moved at once, straight toward the shack. Fast! Daniel shouted, "Get down!" The windows shattered instantly. A wave of light poured inside. Everything inside the shack lifted slightly off the ground, dust, papers, even loose wood. Tyler screamed. Daniel grabbed the old man and pulled him down. The lights outside formed a perfect circle around the shack, and then everything stopped. The silence returned, but now it felt controlled, like something was holding the world still. A voice entered all of their minds at once, not loud, not emotional, just final. "This location is marked." Daniel looked at Tyler. Tyler looked back. The old man whispered, "We're not the first." The circle of blue lights outside the shack began to tighten, slowly, deliberately, like a net closing around something already caught. Daniel felt his body growing heavier again, just like before, when the creature touched Tyler's mind. But this time, it wasn't one voice. It was many, layered, stacked, like thousands of whispers speaking as one. The old man stood up first. He looked calmer now, strangely calm. "They're not here to destroy," he said. Tyler looked at him in disbelief. "Then what are they doing?" The old man pointed outside. "To collect." A long silence followed. Then Daniel asked quietly, "Collect what?" The old man looked at him. Moments. Before anyone could react, the shack door opened again. But this time, no creature stood there. Only light, pure blue light, filling the doorway like water spilling into a room. The forest outside disappeared behind it. Tyler stepped back. "No, no, I'm not going out there." Daniel's camcorder, suddenly alive again, flickered on by itself. The screen showed something impossible. Not the shack, not the forest, but Earth, from far above, like orbit. And in the image, dozens of glowing structures were appearing across the planet, all at once. The old man sighed. "So it's begun everywhere." Daniel turned to him. "You knew this was happening worldwide?" The old man didn't answer directly. "I've seen the signals. For years, which they were waking up all over the world at the same time." The light in the doorway grew brighter. The voice returned. Not threatening now, just absolute. "You were not chosen. You were observed." Tyler whispered, "Observed for what?" The answer came instantly. For readiness. A sudden flash. Daniel saw everything at once. Not just visions this time, but structure, a pattern. Earth wasn't being invaded, it was being checked. Like a system running a test it had run before, and failed. The old man suddenly walked forward. "No more running," he said quietly. Daniel shouted, "What are you doing?" The old man turned back one last time, and for the first time, he smiled. "If they are here again, then maybe this time we change the result." He stepped into the light and vanished. Tyler grabbed Daniel. "We're not going to, right?" Daniel looked at the doorway. The forest outside was gone now. Only the glowing blue space remained, and inside it, something was waiting. Daniel slowly raised his camcorder. It was still recording. He swallowed, then said, "If someone finds this footage." Tyler grabbed his arm. "Daniel, don't." But Daniel stepped forward, into the light. Tyler hesitated for only a second, then followed. The shack disappeared behind them instantly, and there was no forest anymore. Only silence, only stars, and a massive structure floating ahead of them, larger than anything human made. A voice spoke one final time. "Test cycle complete. New observation begins." Then everything went white. The footage ends here. But sometimes in remote areas of the world, people still report strange blue lights in the sky and missing time that no one can explain.